Admission. I'm so sorry about that. I mixed up my notes. That's all right. So, the event happening in Hellshaw, admission is $2,000 and start time is 5 p.m. Sugar Lifestyle presents a fashion show under the theme Tailored Jamaican, the Corporate Fit Edition. Here to tell us more is CEO of Sugar Lifestyle, Gabrielle Burgess. Hi, Gabrielle.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. Getting ready for tomorrow.
Well, lovely. Nice to have you. So, Gabrielle, you're the brand Sugar Life brand. Your brand Sugar Lifestyle is dedicated to being the best platform that bridges the gap between qualified micro and small businesses and wider market opportunities. Tell us about the fashion show and how will you be bridging this gap?
Okay, so this will be the third Taylor Jamaican event, but we have a corporate fit theme this year because corporate entities are currently facing a challenge in the post-COVID era where employees are a bit too casual,
Ah,
right? So it's either two extremes, a bit too casual, even virtually on Zoom
right.
or whatever platform, or they're wearing cookie cutter uniforms, layered clothing. We're under, as Jamaicans, we're under the European influence. But
Right.
I believe that we can still get our local designers, small local designers, to create bold, edgier, eye-catching looks, yet still retaining professionalism as we're out of many one people.
I
And it
like
can
that.
save energy cost as well. You don't have to put the ACs in the office with people layering these heavy jackets and ties and button-up shirts or vests in the banks, etc. You know what I mean? So I
Right.
believe they can even the corporate entities, whether under contract or not for uniforms, can see the talents displayed on the runway by our local designers who won't only show corporate because we love to have fun with Sugar Lifestyle. They'll also be current fall fashion trends for their lines this season, but focusing more on corporate fit. They can take them up, give them contracts, and if it's too much for them, they can also collaborate with the designers that are now monopolizing the industry because they're currently overwhelmed. They unfortunately couldn't even make this event this year, thinking about next year. But then they'll
Right.
also have a little bit more time on their hands and can, probably spread themselves a little wider, focus a little bit better, and be inspired by bolder, eye-catching looks that could be done. And then at the end of the day, we all benefit because we are going to be entering spaces. The idea is to leave the office if we're even going into office and then
Right.
go to a network mixer or a cocktail function without having, I'm sure none of us like to battle the traffic and then try to make it in time for an event. You just probably need to remove a blazer or
Right.
add a neck piece. And then you just look jazzy and you enter the room or the space and persons are going to be like, who is that? Who is he? Who is she? And they're going to
Who
want to
is that
talk to you. They're going
guy?
to want to network.
Right. I like that. So, how many local businesses will be showcased? How many designers will be on show?
We'll have 25 total local businesses, but we're showcasing about 9 to 10 designers. We'll have both male and female. Of course, females run the world, so we have more females than male.
Mm, I'm going to not
Yes,
say
but we
anything.
we have we have a range in terms of what person's styles are like. It's not locked into one style. You'll have the traditional corporate edgier wear with Kim and Mrs.
Right.
And we have people with experience sending pieces to Paris using materials that are high quality enough to send to Europe. And then also we may have persons that love that Afro-Caribbean vibe. I love that as well when I want a pop of color patterns. And we
Right.
have that with Milan fashions. And if persons are a little bit, quirky on the eccentric side, yet still want to, be professional, we have Lamona Designs. She has versatile wear. And we have for the modern, more youthful persons, we have Trenzy by Akilia, who is now a current contestant on Mission Catwalk.
Ooh, that's nice.
Yes, yes. And Lamona was actually on the original Mission Catwalk series. So we have
Okay.
persons with experience. It's just that sometimes they need a little bit more exposure, but they're so good with their designs. And for the modern online shopper, we're not gonna close you out either. If we're just gonna bring that online store to your fingertips, to your eyes, where we have Kian's collections with, modern trendy online wear and accessories as a local business. We don't just support handcrafted, local design, handmade, but local businesses as well.
Okay, that sounds good. So it sounds like you were able to choose local designers who can showcase their wares so that persons have these very options as it relates
Yes, a
to the
range of
design.
looks.
Yes, it sounds good. Will there be any entertainment?
Definitely. We will start off with Rito and then we'll enter into Sanjay. And the usual sugar lifestyle environment is an experience. It's not just shopping. You step into our environment, you're comfortable, there is music, and then we always have tasty bites on beverages because when you go to a sugar lifestyle event, and for instance, if you eat a donut, you don't expect a regular kind of donut. And
Ooh,
these are the donuts you should be eating. Donut Desires will be there with some gourmet toppings, unbelievable
oh Lord.
blueberries, cheesecake, marshmallows, the works.
Mm.
Earn your carbs for this weekend. No, but we have a lot of good confectionery vendors. We have sponsors. Jablum Coffee will be there with their new dark chocolates, right? For
Okay.
those healthy eaters, it's low fat. And they will also, for those not worried about that, they'll have rum cake and they're, of course, coffee beyond compare. Surf and Turf Catering will have some really nice bites, kebabs, soup, everything bust the gas. and and then we'll have AU Trading Company with Bottega Jamaica with some sparkling glasses.
Sparkling glasses. I
Yes,
gotcha. It sounds like you're catering for everything, man.
I do try.
Okay. So in terms of entry requirement for the event, what's that like?
The
What do we
entry
need?
requirement is 2,500 for everyone, and children 12 and under are free. Is a family event always, usually. We have ice cream vendors there, so we can, give the kids a little sugar buzz.
Yes, yes, sounds
And we
good.
have we have Crochet by Shanzi, who also has crochet items, stuffed animals for the kids, and cute little handbags. So, there's something there for everybody. And I have to mention that this entire event could not be possible without Sisters Inc. Jamaica Limited and the JBDC, where we have their full support and sponsorship. The Sisters Inc. Limited, they are very instrumental in business development. So I'm sure they'll be taking on some of the small businesses there to boost them with their marketing and business plans so that we can get everybody not just local distribution, but grow and export as well.
Okay, so this is going to be an in-person event.
Yes, but also we do have a virtual component. You can actually go to the website www.sugarlifestyle.com, the events page. You'll get the link to purchase tickets, or you can go to CariFlow, CARI-FLO.com and purchase tickets for the event, not just general admission in person, but virtual if you cannot make it. And we do have overseas fans of Sugar Lifestyle that would love to tune in. It will highlight, just before the fashion show and during the fashion show. You can get virtual tickets as well. And maybe tomorrow we might even make it free. The
I
virtual
love
tickets
that.
cost $1,000 right now. But if you buy tickets today, we have a code that you can use to get a special discount, Grow Jamaica.
You get a special discount for Grow Jamaica.
Using the code Grow Jamaica.
Okay, got you. So if you're going to do it online, it's $1,000, but in person, it's 2,500.
Correct.
And the
And
location,
kids 12 and under are free.
kids 12 and under are free. Where will the event be?
The event will be at the Jamaica Pegasus tomorrow, starting from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. in the Negril Suite, which is by the big ballroom. So we're going to enter those glass doors coming straight from the parking lot. You cannot miss us. And the fashion show starts at 3 p.m.
Ooh, I like fashion. All
Yes.
right. Anything else you want to share with us before we wrap up?
Well, I just wanted to, thank everybody for supporting our local brands. Come out tomorrow in your numbers. Have fun with Sugar Lifestyle. Thanks again to all our sponsors, and we're ready to have fun with you. So you can shop till you drop.
All right. So this is the tailored Jamaican, the corporate fit edition.
Yes.
Loving it from Sugar Lifestyle. Thank you so much for joining us, Gabrielle.
Thanks for having me, and have a great weekend. See you
You too.
tomorrow.
All the best tomorrow.
Thank you.
All righty. That was Gabrielle Burgess there from Sugar Lifestyle, CEO of Sugar Lifestyle, talking about the tailored Jamaican, the corporate fit edition. You should go on out, people. It's quite affordable. It is very affordable for what is
Both in
being
person and also
and online.
online, right?
2,500 in person and
Yes.
1,000 online.
Yes.
For what they're offering,
Yes.
it's pretty good.
It's a good experience.
Yes, it should be.
All right.
And for those people who may not be so fashion forward, it might help them.
Right. Those people in the corporate world, right, can learn a thing or two about fashion and know you should adorn yourself to work.
Yes, because I don't know if everybody knows.
Right. And she also said she has a fall line too. to
Yes,
showcase.
quite interesting.
Right. So that should be interesting too.
And it's Jamaican designers, which means they are aware of our weather conditions,
Right.
the
Right.
heat.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So they should be aware of that and would design the clothing accordingly.
Right.
I love it. All right. Also happening tomorrow is the album launch of gospel recording artist John Mark Wigan called Validation. One Validation. I can't sing.
Right.
This happens at Solarfield Chapel. The Validation album launch presents a fresh way of experiencing the transformational message of gospel through music. Move to the pulsating beat of soca, the earthy rhythms of reggae. No, it makes sense. And the soulful sounds, jazz, rhythm, and blues, as breakout artist John Mark Wigan and other international headlining acts deliver a power packed show aimed at renewing the heart and mind. The validation event will take you on an aesthetically pleasing and soul stirring journey. Admissions 4,500 pre sold. VIP $6,000. Start time 6 p.m. But I understand VIP is sold out.
Right. It is.
So don't forget the VIP price.
Right.
Just regular price.
Focus on the pre-sold.
Focus on the pre-sold. 4,500. If you go to the gate, it's gonna cost you more.
Yes.
So you can go to all the ticket outlets to get your tickets for the validation event happening tomorrow, starting at 6 o'clock at Swallowfield Chapel. AY Foundation, in association with Jai Kingston, presents Praisetopia. This also happens tomorrow at Jamaica College Auditorium, located at 189 Old Hope Road, Kingston. Featured artists include Rhoda Isabella, Kukudu, Joan Flemings, and more. Admissions pre-sold $3,000 at the gate. It's going to be $3,500. Start time 6 p.m. You can't say you don't have anything to do this weekend, It's 3 events alone. Me just tell you about happening tomorrow, A weekend. Nice. Our upcoming event segment is sponsored by Spur Open. SpurOpen.com is a Jamaican online platform designed to simplify online payments for charities, churches, event organizers, and micro business owners. To register your events, go to SpurOpen.com/events, then click the button that says Get Started Now. Registration is free and your event doesn't have to be a paid event. So stay with us. Your world of music coming up. All right. Huh? Overdrive comes up next. Yes.
How can budgeting help you manage your financial health? One of the major keys to a budget and maintaining your financial health is to stick to your budgeted expenses, regardless of whether you start making more money or bringing in more income. You should definitely be saving more if you are earning more. This financial literacy tip was brought to you by Bank of Jamaica, building an inclusive economy.
Help keep your engine clean and performing at its best with Texaco with Techron. Texaco with Techron cleans your engine as you drive, helping to give you the power and performance you need. Texaco with Techron helps maximize your mileage by removing gunk that can interfere with fuel combustion. So why settle for less when you can have more? Give your car an upgrade. Fill up with Texaco with Techron, star of the Jamaican road.
Get ready for an inspiring time inside Love in the Morning with me, your host, Jokal Dyer. It's Monday, October 30. Listen throughout the show for tips on how to become the best version of who you are in the future becoming you. Grab your cup of coffee and make us start the day right with some morning coffee pick-me-up devotional at 6 a.m. Then cruise with Love on your radio at 7 a.m. inside Drive Time Jammings with great music to lift your day. This week, inside Being Jamaican, we guess some Jamaican riddles. At 8:30 a.m. inside The Healthy Way, we discuss cheilitis, otherwise known as chapped lips. And then at 9:30 is something more brought to you by the Faith Cathedral Deliverance Center. Stick and stay with us. This Pick Me Up Monday inside Love in the Morning, 5 to 10 a.m. on the family station, Love 101. Celebrating 30 years of music, family, and humor.
Pray sardine for the chef and the beginner. Follow the one with pepper, that are the winner. Shop and supermarket, everybody
Pray
selling.
sardines, follow the better flavor.
The time is
11 minutes after 6. This we are listening to is a champion by John Mark Wigan featuring Kevin Downswell. It is on John Mark's new album, Validation. Remember, he's having his album launch tomorrow, so you want to go ahead and check that out. If you are just joining us, it is time for Overdrive. While all of the best books gives readers a chance to walk in another's shoes for a while, the best memoirs enable us to live another person's real life for the length of those pages. While many people who aren't familiar with the genre might think of a memoir as akin to autobiography, they can actually range much more widely than that. Today, global book coach, author, and publishing expert Crystal Day joins us to tell us more. Good evening. Good evening, Crystal,
Good evening. Thank you so much for having me.
and welcome to Engage.
I'm excited.
Lovely. Before we dive right into all the exciting things that you're going to tell us, let's talk a little bit about you. In 2017, you left your 9 to 5 job to answer God's calling, which you now call yourself a kingdom entrepreneur. Tell us some more about that.
Well, so like many of us, we grew up, with the idea that we have our own plans for our lives. And I always wanted to become a politician because I always knew
People
that
actually grew up and want to be a politician?
yes, because I wanted to help people.
Oh,
And
like that.
I
All
grew
right.
up in inner city. For me, the only way I could help is
To
by
be a
getting into politics.
Got you.
So, in my mind, one day you're gonna study law, and you have your own plans. And then somewhere along, you meet Jesus.
Mm.
And the truth is, in the beginning stage, you just kind of add Jesus to your plan, like, hey, just bless these things. And then life happens, and you're like, Lord, have your way. And in
That's
the
a
have
very
your
strong
way,
statement,
have your way, in the have your way is like, oh, guess what? Your way is politics. My way is another way. And at the time, I didn't know what that way was. But I started to just pursue what I believe was purpose, which was writing, speaking, and mentoring slash coaching persons. And I just watched my life transform. And that's the best way to describe it. I just
Wow.
knew I didn't think that I could become an author. I didn't know that I could become a publisher. I studied business in university. So I always kind of knew that one day I have my own business, but I thought it was a restaurant because I love my belly.
Oh, Lord.
But, eventually it just came, the writing and the speaking, and it just became my whole career. And like you said, in 2017, I felt this calling to leave my 9 to 5 job to build this empowerment empire of just going out there and empowering others to write other books, coach, speak, and all of that. So since then, and that's why I call it a kingdom entrepreneur, because the truth is my mission is to build the kingdom using the gifts and talents that God has given me.
I like that. It's very inspiring. I don't know if I would just jump up and do that, but as you said, God called you.
No, I
that
was
that is
very
very
sure.
important.
This is God.
Don't you dare just decide to do this for yourself.
Please don't. Caution.
All right. So for our listeners who don't know what memoirs are, could you define that for us?
All right. So as persons are listening, the thought come up with what is a memoir versus an autobiography? Because most of
Yes.
us would know, the autobiography tends to be a life story of persons, tend to be more historic facts. You'd have the
Right.
Malcolm X, the Martin
Luther
Luther
King,
King,
MLK.
the
Mhm.
Marcus Garvey, those persons that would have had significant contribution to society, and persons would want to write about that. With a memoir now, mostly is from life experiences, but it tend to be from a personal perspective. So it's not just about the facts that's happening in life, but you're feeling people's emotions, experiences, and just experiencing the happenings of different things that's been happening. So that's kind of what a memoir is about. And the question always asks, how young can I write a memoir? And the truth is, I believe that at any age you can write a memoir, because you are always growing. And this is why you have a lot of celebrities would have 1, 2, 3, different versions of their memoir. Because as you experience life, you're just hoping that, the inspiration from your own experiences and lessons will be able to bless others.
So this sounds like if I have my diary, I'm writing on all my feelings. I can just turn it into a memoir.
The truth is, people have done that, but I wouldn't. I don't recommend that's the way to go, especially if you have gone through traumatic stuff. I really do believe that you should write the trauma in your diary, but yet still you, especially as a Christian, you work through the Holy Spirit, therapy, coaching, whatever it is, so that when you do write the memoirs from a place of healing, because you would have seen a lot of persons that would have written things to discredit others. And the truth is, I don't believe that's the purpose of a book. It's not about discrediting others. It's about telling your truth, hoping that it will inspire others. But of course, especially if you don't know Christ, I mean, you write whatever you feel like.
Yes.
But there are also legal ramifications that may come from that too.
All right. So a lot of persons are now writing and publishing memoirs. Is it becoming a trend, or is there some kind of significance in doing this?
I think both. The trend is that we're in a personal branding space right now. Everybody is building a personal brand, whether we want to accept it or not.
Right.
Especially with the increase in technology, you are even more vulnerable to, through the social media spaces. So what you find is, of course, like everything else, Britney Spears is writing a memoir, Jada is writing a memoir, so why not write a memoir?
Why not?
Right? So of course there is that part, but I do also believe that there have been many memoirs, especially in the Christian space. So if you think about Elizabeth Elliot and these Christian stalwarts in the faith that would have shared their journey of what it would really mean like to be persecuted, and these things have really been a blessing. Also, I've had many clients, would have been molested or experienced different things that would have
Wow.
written a memoir, and the truth is their lives, personal life would have changed because now they're able to become speakers and coaches and mentors, but also the life of their readers have changed and transformed because if so somebody has been through something and you are going through something similar, you're able to learn from that.
So it sounds to me then that it would make more sense if you actually have something to share as opposed to just a writing.
So the truth is everybody have a book in them. Here's why. Because we're all going through something.
True.
Three of us will go through the same thing, but we see different things from different perspective. And this is why if you're in school, they tell us to buy 3, 4, 5 textbook for the same subject, right? Even though there are different things, similar things, but why?
Right.
Because people learn differently. So I do believe everyone has a book in them. I don't think that everybody will burn those books. And two, I do believe that there must be some level of accountability, but also credibility in terms of how do you present the story so it be a blessing to others.
Okay, so there's a balance then between how much you share and how much you don't share, because you can overshare, can you?
You can, I think you can overshare, but then of course, Brené Brown has made this vulnerability and shame and all of these things become so popular right now. So what we would consider oversharing, like, you're growing up, your grandmother say, you keep this in the family, no, it's become so inspirational to be so vulnerable.
I have a question. In regard to the whole oversharing,
Yes.
We have seen and we have observed the whole backlash that Jada has been receiving from her memoir. Um, People are saying that this shouldn't have been released, because it's kind of embarrassing her husband and all that. So people will actually probably term that what she has done was oversharing. What do you say,
on a
in
marketing
regard to that?
perspective, it's not like on a marketing perspective, it's not.
right.
It's a win for her.
It's a win
It's
for
a win for
her.
her, right,
So the
right,
question could be: Is she doing this as a part
what
of
was her goal?
exactly? Because
Okay.
we may think that it's oversharing, but it actually could be just a marketing strategy of ensuring that this is talked about. Because there are many memoirs, Kerry Washington. There are so many memoirs that came out this year, but we're talking about.
But we're not. We're not talking about those.
So the oversharing, I think, is a perspective thing depending on who is reading it. Because I know persons that have read that book and they thought it was brilliant, right? Versus somebody else will be like, we really didn't need to know this.
TMI.
It's a perspective thing.
Okay, got you.
So when one's writing their memoir, they need to have a goal in mind. What it is they're trying to achieve, who it is they want to reach, that kind of thing.
I would hope that before you write a book, you have an idea what is. But the truth, all right. So there are many reasons persons write books, right? One, sometimes it's just your personal fulfillment. You want to write this book because it's a big deal. I'm not telling you any lie. If you ever written a book, it's a big deal, right? So you have your own person, but then you have persons that genuinely just want to share their story to be inspirational. Next thing, you make money. Like, depending on what kind of book, you can make extra stream of income. You actually can make a whole career from writing and speaking and coaching. So again, yes, it really goes back to you saying, okay, what is my personal goal for this? But I would caution persons to think about the readers more than they think about themselves. So what is it that you want the reader to take away from this, right? Because sometimes, again, if you're in the secular world, then it really no matter if you tell your whole life. You understand? But if you're on a Christian perspective, we would hope that somewhere in the story that Christ is glorified.
Another question. So I want to know, from your perspective, what sells? Is it the weight of the story, or is it your sincerity coming through in the pages?
I don't think sincerity sells. If sincerity sells, then a lot of my clients will be selling millions of copies. What sells books is marketing. Okay. It sounds a way.
It does, but it's
it reality. It is. Okay, how am I going to build my platform? How am I going to ensure that I'm reaching readers? Because Amazon tells you more than 10,000 books are uploaded on a daily basis on Amazon platform. So it means that if you are not sending people to that search engine, nobody will find your book, which is what's happening with a lot of Caribbean authors. They're
I
writing
see.
great books, but
But nobody
nobody
is
knows
seeing
about
them.
it because they're not seeing the importance. So what sell books? Marketing, branding, publicity. Those are the things that sell book, no matter how sincere and great it is.
Yeah, you just have to be famous and you sell a book. It don't have to make no sense.
It's not just fame, because you have many persons that after fame, but after a while, what would sustain it to hopefully writing a good book. So it's not just the fame you want eventually, because I tell you, with all the publicity, if the book is bad, they are going like you go.
I will
on
never
Amazon,
buy another book from this person
you
ever.
go on Amazon reviews and it will tell you, right? So
Do not buy this book.
yes. So I think the balance is needed. But yeah, I do think that it's not just about fame, because you can sell thousands of copies, millions of copies, without you as the person being out there.
Mhm.
But again, what's your strategy to do so?
Okay, I got it. But we have to, as Christians, we want to ensure that we're coming from a place that we want to
I
share.
would hope
that we're
that
coming
as a
from that
believer,
place.
somewhere in between, you are thinking about how will this story bring glory to God.
All right. So I understand that you have written your own memoir. What are some of the lessons you have learned that you have included?
All right. So I'm very careful to call my book a memoir, because the truth is I more call it a empowerment book.
Okay.
Even though I include my story, the truth is my goal writing that book is how it is living our reality, discovering your identity, purpose, and worth in Christ.
That's the name of the book?
That's the name of the book.
It's a long name. Go again.
The book name is Living a Royal Reality.
Living
a Royal Reality.
a royal. I like that.
Yes.
Mhm.
But the subtitle, you use subtitles so that it can explain what the book is about,
Got
which
you.
is discovering your identity, purpose, and worth in Christ. So I was born and grew up in Maxwell Avenue.
Oh.
Very poor community, plagued with violence, lived in the Kencut and Arnett Gardens. So growing up, I did not have an example of what Christianity could really look like. Yeah, I have
Right.
an aunt that is a Christian, but my household wasn't a Christian household.
Right.
So it means that I was plagued with, I was molested at age 9. By 16, I did my first abortion. I was very promiscuous before I came to Christ. So when I encountered Jesus Christ and I found a brand new freedom, and the chapter, the verse, John 8:38, who the Son sets free is
It's free indeed.
That was a scripture that the Lord took me on my journey of what it really means to discover my identity. So it was Crystal moving from promiscuity to purpose. Crystal moving from this, girl that was just insecure to walking into what identity truly means. So even though I do include my story, the truth of the matter is it was really to empower persons to lead them back to Christ.
I like that. I do. I really do. Because and it goes back to you that speaks to the sincerity, but you also had your purpose and you wanted to ensure that persons were going
And
to
I
get
did
something.
a lot of marketing, and within 48 hours, I became an Amazon bestseller.
Look at that. So
yes,
she added the marketing to
I
the
did.
sincerity.
I did.
How long did it take you to write the book?
The first book.
The first book.
Yes. So I'm at 10 book now. So now it takes me a week or maximum 2 weeks to write a book. But the first book probably about three months, because I really didn't know exactly what to look for, etc. And the Holy Spirit mostly write it. I'm not gonna tell no lie.
Yes.
So in essence, a memoir can be part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4.
I do think so. What's her name? That pretty girl, Gabrielle Union. She has 2 memoirs, so she has 2 parts in her memoirs, and that's actually one of my favorite ones. You were able to see a lot of the behind the scenes of what you would have watched on TV, and why she is with certain like non-profit that she support. You see why. So yeah, you can come from a story basis. I don't think my memoir is from a story.
Doesn't sound that way.
Yeah, so I know
More
the
encouraging.
first 2 chapters very story based, but then it became encouraging. Some memoirs is just story based. Tiffany Haddish, please do not read Tiffany Haddish, because you'd have a beep. As a Christian, if you read beep, but it was very funny. But if you watch her on TV, you will be able to also understand. You understand? So
you can tie the two.
Yeah, so you find some memoirs are very story based, but some are more also inspirational. Jamie Kerlima, her memoir is mixed with stories, but along with a lot of inspirational and encouragement too.
I like that. So you have helped quite a few persons to write their memoirs.
Yes.
That's correct. What are 5 tips you could give to get us started in writing our own?
Oh, that's good.
That's easy.
All right.
Just 5.
So to start, one, I think the first thing you need to start is, just ask yourself what is it that you want to accomplish from writing. I think it always starts with this self-discovery. What is it that you want to
Taking
accomplish?
notes.
The second thing is, who do you want to write for? Because while your story can impact many people, I do believe as a Christian, God has called us to serve a section of people, and you want to ask yourself, who is that? No, it doesn't mean that others won't read it. It just means that in your marketing, it makes it easier. The next thing you want to write is just do a flesh out. So you write all the vulnerable things, you write everything, just kind of write in a diary, in a diary mode.
Just put all your thoughts out there.
Here's why: because sometimes you don't realize that you're not healed from something. So when I was writing about my abortion the first time, I was like, okay, God, I'm supposed to put this in a book, So it took me a few writing of that chapter to include that in it. So I do believe that you should just write initially, just to kind of pray it out, cry it out, fast it out, until you feel like you're in a place to talk about it. So that's the first draft. The third thing I would say is start to put money towards publishing. I know that self-publishing is very popular, but self-publishing not done well can discredit you as especially as a kingdom person. So I don't believe that writing a book is a cost. It doesn't cost you. It's an investment. What I mean an investment, the truth is whatever you spend, you're able to make that back tenfold.
Once the book sells.
Once the book is selling, I promise you won't even remember what you spent. So I do believe that it's an investment. So you want to start putting money towards publishing, marketing, and printing. And the last tip I would say is that you should, I think you should start building your platform, which is don't go Jada way, right? But you can build a platform in a sincere way. And we have seen a lot of, just Jamaican authors that have been doing that. Carla Dunbar, her memoir, Change, was a really impactful memoir. And you would have seen Carla do the work to build a platform of integrity that persons are willing to follow. So
yes,
I will stop there.
You gave us 5. Thank you so very much.
I mean, if you go on my website, I literally have a cheat sheet, a bestseller cheat sheet that gives you the 10 ways to get started with your book.
Okay, go ahead and give us the website now then.
www.daylight, D-A-Y-E as my last name, daylightpublishers.com. So once you go on it, you get the bestseller cheat sheet, or just follow me on Instagram, Facebook, any one of them, you can just...
Same Daylight?
Our Crystal Day, D-A-Y-E.
Yes, important to spell the day correctly.
Yes,
if you're going to include someone in your memoir, you have to ask them permission.
You should, especially if you're going to call their names. Things I tell my clients is, for example, say, instead of saying my stepdad, you can say my relative. You generalize terms if you don't want to necessarily call their names, or you can just change your name and say, this name was changed to protect. But you want to be very careful about how you discredit people, because again, it can have its own legal ramifications.
That is so true. And when it's in writing, you have the proof that it's right here.
So all of your publishing money where you make them just take
gone.
it back.
All right, Crystal, it was so lovely having you. You have shared quite some good nuggets here for us this evening. Anything you want to close off, wrap up with, share with persons?
I think the best thing I could say is that if God has called you to do this, I know sometimes it feels scary, but many of us are out there doing it. So connect with mentors, connect with inspirational persons like myself, and there are many others that would help you to make the journey a little bit easier. And obedience to God. I mean, I don't know.
Key.
That's the thing. Only thing I can leave with. Truly being obedient to God will change your life. And I've watched my life transform because of my obedience and my faith.
I love that. Thank you so much for joining us today inside Engage.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
It was absolutely lovely having you, and we are appreciative of you sharing. Okay, wonderful. The time has gone. The time has gone. Engage is your drive time entertainment and lifestyle choice, which happens every Friday afternoon from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. Tell a friend about the show. Shout out to all those who helped to make this week a blast. Special thanks to our guests for listening. Have a great weekend. I'm Deidre. And remember, if you missed the show, then you can check it and last week's episode on the Love 101 FM app. I'm out.
This message will self-destruct.
You may now disengage.